Greetings, bike guys. We're going to talk about practicing again today. I think it's a really important item. So stick around. Well, guys, we're practicing out here on a hillside on some very loose, sandy soil, but it's covered with rocks. And what we're doing here is just practicing. We're playing follow the leader. Tom's following me around up the hill and down some of the sections that we picked out here. This is also a practice area where we work on our trials riding with a trials bike, and it's a popular area for that. But I wanted to be able to just talk about practicing. Sometimes we get all in a big hurry to go riding, ride fast, get on it and hit the hard trails and all that stuff. But just spending some time working on your balance, and you'll notice in watching me, I'm on the blue bike on the TM. Tom's on the Beta, and he's just riding around with me, trying to follow some of my trails and that sort of thing. But here's the point, is just riding around at a low speed in a non-threatening environment like this and practicing rolling over things and practicing keeping traction, working on our balance, and staying in control. We're using throttle control, clutch control, low RPMs, and you can see just like that, I've just eased down off of those rocks and things like that. These kinds of skills are really, really helpful. There's a dab. These skills are really, really helpful when you get out on the trail so that you are in control of the bike. You're not just a passenger on the back. And I see a lot of novice riders, and they just are throttle jockeys, they just want to punch it up everything. Well, a lot of times that just won't work. What if you're on a very narrow trail with maybe a cliff to one side or a dangerous place where you might fall off or something, hurt yourself, damage your machine, whatever like that? Well, this kind of practice, just rolling around and just easing up over rocks. Now watch, see, I'm just easing the bike up and over them. It looks easy until you try it. So just work on your trials skills, and those things will help you tremendously. You don't have to run out and buy a trials bike to practice trials. Sometimes it's just riding around. Now I got stuck over there behind that rock because of the loose sand. And I just worked my way up out of there. And we just spend a little time riding around and doing different types of turns. This is a side hill area here, so you can work on your side hill balance, work on the clearing of the rocks and things like that, and it just makes you a smoother rider when you get out on the trail. It'll improve your control of your throttle. It'll improve the control of your clutch. And so we're just using the clutch and the throttle in tandem. And it looks like I'm just riding around in circles with pointless riding, but it's not pointless. There is a very specific reason for riding around like this. Then when I get out on the trail and we come to a tough section, I'm not panicked about running over the rocks or keeping my balance and that sort of thing. I've already practiced it. And these kind of practice drills are amazingly confidence inspiring. It looks like you're not doing anything, but you'd be surprised how difficult it is just to keep your balance, keep your feet up on the pegs, keep the center, you get your center of balance figured out. See, now I move my hips forward and backwards to keep the bike in a nice balanced position here. Now, I'm not an expert trials rider, but I have spent some time competing in trials so that I do have a basic understanding of how that works and how it's improved my riding. And so I wanted to be able to just show you a few things here. Tom's a newer rider. He's a novice rider, but he's attempting to learn how to do these things too and help practice for him. It's especially important for novice riders to just go and work on these various different skills. Now I climbed up to the top of this hill. It's extremely slippery and it's a lot steeper than it looks in the video. But just, you just put yourself in some positions where you have to use skill to keep control of the bike. And it'll pay you huge benefit in the long run. There you go, I got another down. Just a little slip and you had to put a foot down. And then after you get done practicing a little bit, get out on a trail or a road or something and stretch your wings a little bit. Get that speed that you always like to get when you're out riding. Push the limits a little bit, and you get better and better at handling these situations, being able to keep yourself in balance. You're not sliding out of control, but you're keeping your bike connected to the ground, keeping your center of balance so the bike isn't swirling around underneath you. Oh yeah, it's fun to hit the gas and blast up some roads and things like that, but those kinds of are low-level skills. If you watch the top enduro riders here in the United States and in Europe, they don't practice just hauling butt up and down trails. They practice by riding slow. So I want to encourage you today to learn to ride slow. And then when you get out on the trails and all that sort of thing, you'll find you have a much better center of balance. The bike will hook up better. You get on an off-camber like this, it doesn't slide out from under you. You're able to pick your way through the rocks and just enjoy the ride even more. So hang in there, keep practicing, work on those basic skills. Ride a figure eight on a flat spot, ride a figure eight on a hillside, and keep your feet on the pegs. Use the throttle and the clutch control to keep your balance and your momentum as you go around in those circles. So we look forward to having another rider training time coming up, and next time we'll talk about doing some things that it's a little more high speed or more difficult. See you then.